Welcome to Millennial Man, Chapter 14, Love. Special shout out to Correction Officer Halverson. If it wasn't for him, this chapter might have been lost. Love is and has been the topic of many discussions, stories, books, movies, and songs. Love has led to wars between families and entire nations. Love has been the root of controversy and revolution. Love is powerful and is desired and sought by most people in all the world. Love can calm the stormiest of men and harden the softest of women. Love can ease the suffering of a soul, heal the brokenhearted, and inspire forgiveness. Love is the reason behind all great sacrifices and has been the cause of murder and suicide. Love strengthens the bonds of friendship worldwide and lasts for entire lifetimes. Love is an ancient topic that has a massive effect on mankind. Surely much, much more could be said about love. There are many definitions of the word love. I will list a few that are important for the millennial man to consider. An intense affection for another person based on personal ties, such as spouse, child, or friend. An expression of one's affection. Send my love. A deep sexual attraction. Consideration or care for one another. A bond formed by shared experiences or neighborhoods and towns. An emotional attachment to a pet or place. Mankind's feelings toward our Creator. Example given, reverence and respect. Our Creator's providence and mercy towards mankind and life. Love can be passion for things like sports, sometimes for things like revenge, power, or riches. Love for freedom and justice, also for subjects like history and mathematics. Love for the underdog, love for helping the needy and oppressed. Such an all-encompassing term. Wow. Surely an important word for all millennial men to understand, consider, and teach. At times, love seems to be a mysterious or forbidden topic among the masculine camaraderie of men. Love is not discussed enough by men and should become a popular subject since it affects each of us on a daily basis and often will dictate your mood, character, and positions in life. Maybe the old school chivalry by medieval knights in shining armor is a romanticized tale, but will serve us well as a start for a sort of idea that mighty men, including warriors, can have and actually need a sincere love, concern for, and respect for our Creator, our women, our children, our community, and for principles such as morality, truth, and justice. Men need to not feel weak, vulnerable, or less than by discussing love, being aware of love, and being in tune with how love impacts everyone. Millennial men, we are all mighty warriors of our day and age. Men, we are the knights in shining armor, called upon to provide safety and fight evil foes. Though we don't all physically fight, we all have a duty to seek the truth about love, embrace it, and then be able to teach our youths and fellow men or anyone who has a misconception about or fears love. And we have a duty to stand up against those who purposely push deception about true love. Sincere true love, in most definitions of the term, requires sacrifice, sincerity, commitment, toughness, and a willingness to serve. That, men, is why we are looking into this matter of love. Our motivation for reading or listening to Millennial Man is that we understand universally that there is a great void, lack, or breach in our homes, communities, and nation. We are interested in helping to fill, solve, and fix all of the voids and problems and breaches we suffer from as a people and united society. Just as with all topics of this book, it starts with recognition. When we realize that our lack is the cause of these voids, breaches, and problems, half the battle is already won. We naturally want to blame others for the problems we suffer from, especially when the problems seem too big to address or to solve, a lost cause, too big to tackle, or seemingly unrepairable, etc. Certainly, a lot of our society's problems fit this description. This is why it is my hope that self-reflection and love for the underdog will inspire us to step up and begin to address our own shortcomings as men so that we can be united, able, and effective in our work of fixing these huge problems. Only then can real men prove that real love can and will change our world for the good and repair the largest of breaches. We need to gain true love, love for truth, love for others, love for freedom and justice, love for morality, love for hard work, and love for the fight so that we can have a focus point for our energies and abilities. a challenge. What man is there who doesn't love a good challenge? We need to gain love for the orderer of the miracle of life, love for morality enough to agree on a moral code, which is a proper ethical agreement between men, common ground. Without this self-sacrificing love and attitude, we will continue to deteriorate as a nation of free people. The problems we face as a country and a world cannot be solved without the men of the United States standing up to this call of love, without fear of failure, ridicule, accusations, or defeat. We must gain a passion for involvement, love for the good fight. Men, some of us have not been properly instructed, taught, or shown true love, or made to understand how many variances come with the term. It's not too late to learn, and in fact, as we do learn, things that have previously been unclear will become quite clear. I'm convinced that deep within each one of us is a spark of true love, an understood universal truth of what true love consists of, what it looks like, how it should feel, and the fruit that it should bear. Some of us reading have a family. Do you love your family, spouses, children, church family, nation, and community? I'm sure you would claim with your mouth that you want the best for them, with all sincerity and honesty. However, contrary to a lot of common belief, providing food, clothing, and shelter is not enough. When a man loves his family, community, and nation, he will sacrifice his own desires for the betterment of others. He will discipline, give proper education, and provide protection to his children, in his own life, and in his community. At least he should make sure all these needs are met, being committed to these things at all costs, including his own life's breath. Please, millennial men, let us not allow our love for ourselves to get in the way of loving our spouses, children, community, nation, Creator, and the morality and order He has intended for our species of being. This is a deep, deep mistake with consequences far-reaching and could last far into the future. There are present dangers that aren't so clear in our current day and age that are threatening our wives, children, and country as a whole. First and foremost is the lack we find among men. How amazing is it that How amazing is it that the more we men fail in understanding, practicing true love, and good leadership, the greater dangers we face. The more our wives, children, and communities become susceptible to dangers such as destructive beliefs, psychological dysfunction, deception, immorality, chaos, and violence. Our failure to be men of love, education, and discipline causes us and our offspring to be confused, ignorant, burdensome, and often destructive. Meanwhile, corrupt institutions and officials take advantage of these truths to further an agenda that is contrary to our values of freedom and morality. Women and children need to hear our love affirmed for them by verbal communication. As you know, men, we can oftentimes just assume they know and are assured by simply by our actions alone. This is a mistake. Children and women question themselves. They question the situations. They question our love for them. They need to be reassured on a regular basis. Have you ever given more criticism than loving compliments? Just as men enjoy a verbally expressed appreciation or admiration by our wives, bosses, friends, so our children and our wives need that expression of love from us. This is a love truth that is quite common to overlook, yet is very destructive if not understood, realized, and practiced. When we fail to build this bond and assurance, our wives and children may seek assurance and compliments in other places. That could lead to complications and disconnections in our relationships. This should be avoided because it leads to broken homes and broken communities and a lot of pain. Love for our wives and children should have us willing to listen to them with sincere interest in their desires and opinions. Giving them our time and attention is important to build and maintain true love. Love should also have us to give and yield to their wants and desires only when the time is proper. A man who gives in to every want of a child is not doing what's best for that child. No woman wants a man who seems to be a pushover, yielding to her every whim. She wants a man who will make a stand on principles that are just and display strength, even when her emotions cause her to press him. Women and children both highly respect this display of strength, soundness, and authority. Everyone must understand there are consequences to be paid and lessons to be learned by breaking our laws of morality and our society's order. When followed, there are rewards and benefits. Failure to realize and respect these truths result in a number of problems. Millennial men, We will not be weak or spineless when standing firm in our resolve for true love, justice, and goodness. To truly love someone involves practicing and teaching these values. Failure to teach them is failure to love. Failure to be true millennial men. Love for our community is a positive attribute for any millennial man. Sincere regard for the state of things in our neighborhoods, towns, and cities is very important for the millennial man to have. And those who don't care about those things need to be shown why it is so important to care. All people are needed, and we can all benefit one another. The word community means people as a whole working together. We all have responsibility to take part in the cleaning up of our neighborhoods and share the burdens, teaching, and caring for one another. This is one example of true love. This is also our duty, that we have neglected and allowed ourselves to come to dependency on government. Our nation has a huge problem with children that are fatherless. Children that grow up without an active father in life are at a huge disadvantage, no matter what race or social standing. Millennial men, for us to love our country, community, and care about the future of our families. For us to love our country, community, and care about the future of our families and land, we must give our time and money to help the fatherless children of our community, to teach them and care for their well-being, for they are our future society, and without the fruits of true love from millennial men, our society will continue to deteriorate. Men, to love is our responsibility. There are all types of fake and misguided ideas of what love actually is. We need to get it right and stand up to deceivers and fakes, or anyone who purposely plants seeds of destruction in our institutions of learning, homes, and communities. Some have allowed our institutions and teachers to instill their own ideas of what love should mean into our children. And if false, it is twice as hard to reteach the actual truth. Some have neglected this topic to the extent that our youth have to figure out what true love is and what it means on their own, by trial and error. When they finally do get a good sense of true love, they've spent multiple years in dysfunctional living, to the peril of themselves and their world, family, friends, co-workers, law enforcement, etc. The truth is certainly logically sound. We need to know and understand love in order to progress effectively. Teaching these values of discipline, hard work, sharing burdens, self-sacrifice, telling painful truths, and real education can be very difficult to deal with and also very time-consuming. Hence the term, tough love. Millennial men, love is tough and is more beneficial than anything in the world when acted on, practiced, and defined correctly. So let us find resolve to act on what we know to be true, that is love.